Hey Raz. Hey Scott. Yeah, it was a good, nice, quiet Christmas. Nothing exciting. Hopefully yours was well. Don't really do much for holidays anymore. I'd rather spend my money and time on other stuff. I mean, I see the family and stuff, but that's about it. Rather spend the money and time going to like comic book shows or get statues I want, stuff like that. No sense in wasting all that money and time on holiday stuff. Why'd it suck, Raz? Then again, I don't work for a company, I work for myself, so holidays aren't like, I get a week off or anything. I'd rather plan for stuff differently. One second. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. We all go through stuff like this. You'll find the good days and you'll find the bad days. As long as you get to do some stuff every once in a while to clear your head. Oh, hey, Jonathan. Yeah, got it lined up better this time. So now I'm just gonna try to clean up the edges up top. And then I'm just trying to be very careful not to snap any fingers on her because I'm so scared of snapping those fingers. Right now I just want to get a little extra eaves up top. I'm going to add some flames to it and then I'll color it back up. It's a little bit of a mess on her leg. I couldn't help it. So I'm going to have to touch up her leg some. Although I was thinking of adding a little bit of red to her leg too. I'll have to run that by you in an email. To to kind of make it look like it's kind of heating up the foot a little bit. But I don't know if you're using the old base still. Yeah, I've been trying to do a lot more at nights, my own personal stuff as well. Just to try to get some things going. Spent yesterday working on a project all day that I'm trying to get ready for the paint and start selling off, but that all got sidetracked in November. November. Keep those fingers. Hey, raccoon. Hey, Jacob. Mine was good, quiet. Hopefully yours was good. Just another week for me. Not much holiday stuff. Hey, what's up, Matthew? So all you guys got New Year plans or what? I went and got pizza today. You guys like, you doing anything for New Year's? I was like, hell no. He's like, neither am I. He's like, I can't afford it. Hey, Terrell. Yeah, that I can understand, Jonathan. Just, it's better to stay home and not spend money anyway. You got statues to collect over the next year, so... Yeah, that's right. These weeks went by pretty fast. Everyone's gonna start getting back to work. That's gotta suck. Hey, what's up, Raphael? This is a new base for the Sideshow Jean Grey. It's kind of a scaled down, stylized option without going crazy. The base that she came with was absolutely humongous. So this is for this is kind of like what I did for the Firestar custom I did a while back. So doing a new base for this. These flame stuff is the figure art stuff that you get for those PVC statues that you can put your characters around. Instead of sculpting flames from scratch and then casting and molding or printing out, you could buy these kits and you can kind of build as you go, what I'm doing. So I'm just adding these on, and then I'm going to touch up the paint and stuff like that, so it kind of looks like a flame base without breaking the bank, I guess you could say. So if you go on like eBay, you could look up like burning effect to Mashia figure art stuff. And they have all kinds of these. So basically, you know, they have all these little long pieces. What you could do is you could sort of like just like cut them off. And then after that, you have a weird thing. You can salvage these, I guess, later, but I usually just throw them away. If you lock them into place pretty well with some of the eaves, they won't pop out. So you just gotta kind of try to lock them in. What I like to do is afterwards, once it's cured up, I take some of that epoxy, put a little color into it, and then sort of like pour it in there a little bit in case I miss a spot to lock it in. So sometimes you gotta cut your pieces up a little bit better too. So what I'll do is, once this is cured up, I'll grab this stuff here. This is Hobby Town stuff, but you can get, you know, it's just 5-minute quick cure epoxy. I'll mix a tiny drop of Tamiya red into it to give it like an orange tint. Mix it up really well, and then what I do is I sort of try to take a piece of wood and I drip it in there and let it kind of go into the places. And it'll lock it in a little bit better, and it'll sort of hide the eaves. But I won't put it too close to the leg because you don't want to screw all the key up. So what I'll do is I'll hit paint on the leg area. Not the leg, but the resin area. Damn it, I keep coming close to those fingers with my headgear. Now I'm going to leave her leg in there with the plastic on it for a while, because if I try to pull off the plastic now, what's going to happen is it's going to pull it up. I don't mind if the plastic sticks, because I can always pull that out later. Alright, let me wash my hands for a second. Alright, so if I try and pop her out now, without pulling the saran wrap, she should come out no problem. But I always like to make sure that nothing is getting screwed up. So I'm going to pop this out. Alright, so because her fingers are so fragile, I'm not putting her anywhere but in the box. There's one thing I do not want to have to repair. So now that she's out of there, I can sort of clean this up a bit. Like I said, it looks a little bit messy, but once you add some of that epoxy in there and let it go down, it'll kind of cover it and almost look like the flames. So I'm not too worried about how it looks now. Oh no, I casted up two different bases. Well, what I did was I casted up this main circle here, and then I put it into a container, and then I casted up this around it, and then I seamed it here. And then what I did is I created the rod and stuff for Jean, and then I sculpted the stuff around it, and then I've been adding all the flame stuff after I painted everything up. What happened was, though, after I finished up, sort of, she had a slight lean to the left, so I had to correct that. So I drilled this back out again, and I got her back in there lined up now. So that's why I'm doing this stuff over. But it's kind of hard to see in there, but there's a hollow brass rod in the bottom, and then it's the keyed, so this won't lean at all. You know, this is all pure support and everything for her, so it's not going to lean. Now, I hate using baby powder, but I'm going to throw a little baby powder on this in the garage. What I do is I pour baby powder in the center, and then I turn it upside down in front of the shop vac, so all the baby powder sort of will collect around that edge, but it won't go all into my crevices, because if it goes all into your crevices, it's a nightmare to clean this up. But, you know, there's a couple spots in there I got to clean up from baby powder, but, you know, it's just a simple flame base without going crazy of, you know, re-sculpting something from scratch and going, you know, nuts. So, hold on one second, I'll be right back. Alright, so you see what I did is I got the dust in there as best as I can. The same thing about doing bases like this for an item is there's really no way around making it without screwing up your item. So you can see right here I had a little bit of a, you know, nick damage here from putting this stuff in. And the problem is if I found out that these statues, so say I have this one, but say I have one over here I'm customizing, and I say, oh, I'll use that one. Those rods don't line up with this key in every single base, so every one is kind of different. So sadly, it's not like you can use a different statue for this. Alright, but you see, so there is that little mark on her foot there. So it's either I try and touch that up as best as I can, or we do a little customizing with adding a little bit of red around her foot to kind of like make it look like it's blending up in there. So we'll have to kind of go over that with me and a client. But the problem is if you mark it up on this base, but you want to put her back on the old base, it might not line up, and then you might see that mark. It's always a problem with keys and trying to make a new base. It's kind of hard to, unless it's got a key underneath the foot that you don't see, something like this will always cause problems. It's just the downside of making custom bases, and if you want to swap them, nothing I could do about it. So, and this gold is hard as hell to match too. It's not like I have this gold sitting around somewhere. So you see it kind of gets a little bit messy there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe this off, and I'm going to let it sit. I got to let the aves cure up a bit. Once the aves cures up, a little bit later, probably in like 2 hours, I'll try it again. But you can see that now there's a little bit of a mark here. There's nothing I can do about that. It just happens. Plus, another problem is when you have paint going into an area and you're pulling that out, paint is always going to scrape. That's one thing I wish they would kind of figure out, you know? So I'll just put this aside, and then later I'll take another test. Because one other thing too is you got to be careful of is I put her in here and then I popped her out. Now say when I pulled her out, it warped a bit, or I hit it by accident. If you let it cure and then you try to put it back in tomorrow, it might not go in all the way because you bent it. So it's always good to test it like every 30 minutes, hour. But since I didn't, like, I'm not making a whole key, I'm just making a little top area, I could check this in probably like another hour or so. I'll put her back in there with a little baby powder and make sure it works pretty well. So, yeah, so that's kind of what I did with this base. I've got a little bit more cleaning up to do, but simple, and it doesn't take up a lot of room like that original base. That original base was just too big. The idea was okay, but the execution was just way too massive for her. Just takes up way too much room. Real quick, I'll show you. So the other day I was doing some work on stuff, and I figured let me fix her hair. So I fixed Donna Troy's hair. What I did was I sanded down this area around here, and I kind of keyed this in a little bit deeper in here. And then I built up these two areas over here, and I kind of been cleaning up the back of it. So I've been just kind of sanding down, evening a lot of this stuff out. She's pretty much almost ready for paint. So, like I said, what I might want to do is do this on Picardo, paint her up, or maybe try Rumble. I don't know, maybe in like a week or so. Maybe next week. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put in an announcement on my Twitter that I'm going to paint this up on a spot. But all in all, she's kind of cleaned up. I'm pretty happy with it. Looks a lot better than before. Yeah, what it was is I think my friend said that this spot was over heavy, and I didn't like the way this one spot was over here, so just taking this down worked out better. But yeah, I just gotta keep cleaning it up a bit. There's a little bit of areas here and there I need to clean up, but all in all, looks pretty decent. I'll try to, I don't know, Raz, I'll try to make a post. I want to start painting her up, but I don't know when yet. I still got a lot of commissions to do, but if I finish stuff early, and if I'm in the mood to work later at night, maybe I'll see if I can make an announcement to go on try Rumble. I want to practice on Rumble a bit. I just got to learn on how to set up the live stream. Maybe next week I'll do a test where I just do her skin tone and her face on Rumble, and then if all works well, we can just kind of finish it up on Rumble. I don't know. Alright, so I guess what we'll do is we'll start with Harley. Alright, let's see, where are we? You think our hair needs to be tweaked? Where would it need to be tweaked? I don't know, I kind of went over it a lot. It kind of feels right for her now. I don't want to do any like bangs hanging down. Alright, so for Harley, I went ahead and sanded her down yesterday because I was doing a lot of garage work yesterday. So I cleaned up a lot of these areas around here, cleaned up around here. The only problem with her head is that I'm just leaving it like the ivy. Oh, to log in and do chat, eh. Well, like I said, Rumble's gonna be a test. I'm gonna see how it works out. Alright, so I want to start lining this up. So I'm gonna have to kind of saw this line in. Right there. So, and I have the lines like right about here. What I'll do is I'll put some Aves back here, and then I'll just use my tool to give a line, and then what I'll have to do is follow the line down here. Just trying to see, what do I do first? So I'm probably gonna have to add some wrinkles in here, add wrinkles here, work on the lines. Then we got to start figuring out the hands and the hair. So I guess we also have to do the shoulders, right? Because they basically have like shoulder pads almost, right? So the line would come up here, or maybe a little bit, yeah, like right about here. And then this would be like a flat shoulder pad, right? That's what they have. So I probably should do the shoulders first then. Yeah, so the shoulders, so it's going to be like flat. And then if I add wrinkles underneath here, I could work out that line. Yeah, let's do that. I cleaned up the neck a bit, sanded it down. You gotta clean up a little bit more here and there. Alright, so let's do the shoulders, and then after that I'll put some A's in here, and then I'll start this line. Alright, so I'm thinking, would it be easier if I do a post on YouTube just to announce that I'm like at a certain time I'll be on Rumble painting up Donna? Or would it be better if I just did it on Twitter? Because I know a lot of people don't follow me on Twitter, and it's not like I post there a lot. I mean, yeah, I could do both, but I don't know, just don't want to. It's just kind of a pain in the ass, really. I mean, I can make a post on YouTube and then I'll have to pull it down like a little bit later. Well, when I say YouTube, I mean make like a quick video on YouTube saying, you know, Tuesday night at so and so I'm going to be on Rumble. Here's the link. The only reason why I'm a little iffy on YouTube to do that and keep it up is they might like kick me off. because that's like advertising another site. Not saying that I don't know. I'm just trying to think, you know, if that would work or not. But I've seen other YouTubers do that. What they do is they post that they're going to be on another place and then they pull it down. See, I don't know if I start a live feed on Rumble, if anyone who's following me on Rumble gets a notification, because I haven't done that yet. Yeah, I'm not really sure how it works. I don't know. Yeah, I could do a Patreon post too. I gotta find a night where I think I got the energy to work on it later at night and try and live stream. I just want to experiment with Rumble, so I don't think it'll be a long stream. I want to see if I can actually play like regular music there for a night, you know, and see what happens. Not moving. There we go. All right, we'll have to see if I can spend a little time tomorrow and work on her, getting her ready for paint. Maybe we'll be able to do something. Of course, if I do any adult themed stuff, it has to go on to Picardo. If I ever get that one anime kit that I want to paint, can't be putting that on YouTube. Hey Sean, thanks man, appreciate it. Yeah, she's getting there. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Well, the item that I want to work on is not really that bad, but for YouTube it probably is. But I know like Picardo, you can do whatever you want there. It's all art. But you know what it is YouTube I want to keep clean. Don't want to push the envelope on it. But the other sites, I can. Yeah, that works a little bit better for shoulder. On another note, I finally sold off my 2 boxes of X-Men comic books today. I put up my comics on OfferUp. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that site. So I met a young guy today. He got into collecting comic books and stuff. So I'm kind of happy I went to somebody who's just kind of getting into it from the movies. So 3 more boxes out of the house. I'm doing good. Doing good. Yeah, I know, Rukin. That's why YouTube, we gotta be careful. You know, it's like damned if you don't. So. No, it was just mostly 90s Jim Lee X-Men stuff, a couple Uncanny X-Men stuff, all my X-Men Nate Gray stuff, because X-Men was my favorite character. But I sold all my key stuff during the lockdowns because all the market was absolutely going insane. So it was a great time to sell good stuff because it was like I never saw prices like that before. So I sold a lot of stuff during the lockdowns, which was good. But a lot of the other stuff was filler. Some were good issues. But you know what it is it wasn't enough to piece everything out on eBay. I'd rather just sell it locally to somebody and just get it out the door. So all I have left now is a box of Flash comic books, a box of Captain Marvel, and 2 or 3 small boxes of Power Girl stuff, and I'm kind of done, which I'm happy about all that. Yeah, Raphael, that's why I'm trying to see about some other places, just to see if I can kind of migrate over to something else just to check it out for certain projects, because I know certain projects I won't be able to do here, you know. Yeah, 90s stuff was the best, but I'm just, you know, I don't read this stuff anymore. And the stuff that I read, I already have it in trade, so. And if I ever move down the line, I don't want to lug boxes and boxes of comics. funny, when I moved down here, 2012, I had like 15 long boxes of comics. That was a lot. And then I lost my job and sold about 10 boxes of those. And then now I'm kind of finishing off the whole stuff. You know, I was going to keep all my X-Men stuff for the movies, and then I figured it would go up by then. But the stuff that they're doing already, I kind of figured might as well just get rid of it now. I did good already with the lockdown, so I'm not really worried about what I got left. Oh, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Bowsette one was a fun one. I have kind of want to try another character from that like whole Bowsette sort of Mario thing. So I might venture into another one this year. They got a couple other characters that might be fun to do. Well, don't they have a few of them? They also. Well, I was thinking of like, didn't they take like the ghost and make a boozette character, and then they do like a bomb character? I was thinking more along those lines. Because if I ever did like a Princess Peach, she would be more of a realistic statue off of one of these. But I would have to find like a cosplay girl where they kind of did the smaller skirt look than the big skirt. You know, kind of have they sort of have like the front of it like in a outfit, but then they do like a little skirt that comes behind her. Rukin, I'm still working on her. What happened was, November was a bad month for me, so everything kind of stopped. So I haven't had a chance to get back on to her. I've been doing a lot of commission work. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to really work on that one as much as I wanted to. Yeah, I gotta show the skin. I know what you're talking about though, Raccoon. Like Peach would look pretty cool. I just would have to design it a different way. But I have a lot of those characters of mine. I got a list of stuff I want to do. But one thing at a time. I gotta really grind out some commissions. Because a lot of people are waiting for stuff as well. It's going to be a busy year. It's going to be a very, very busy year. But like I said, I might revisit the poison statue into one of those characters. Because since Pop Culture Shock is doing the poison over again, and the new version looks way better. I've got one of those on order, so my old poison I'm gonna use for another custom. Got a bunch of stuff collecting dust that I need to customize and sell off. So I'm kind of not gonna try to buy too much this year, unless it's really, really cheap. Because I'm just sitting on way too many projects, and I can't keep storing stuff and not get it out the door. So it's kind of a year of purge, I would say, this next year. Just kind of work on what I got. Yeah, things got better. Just hopefully it stays that way for a while. The only thing I can think of right now is next year, maybe in February, my father might have to go in for back surgery. But the way things are going, it looks like you're like in and out of the hospital in a day. So we'll see. The Black Canary jacket. Which one are you talking about? The Sideshow one? Oh, you're talking about the Black Canary statue itself. Yeah. Well, that's fine. You don't have to know all the companies and figures and stuff. I think that looks better. It's kind of more of a pointy shoulders. I'll sand it down a little bit. So I'm gonna put a whole bunch of this in her back. And that'll probably work out better. So you say you do stuff in Blender. You do a lot of sculpting? Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Hold on one second, my friend just sent me a message. Wow, he just sent me a message. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Frankie's Comic Books. I guess they went and filed for bankruptcy. I think I have an order or two on with them. I gotta check that out later after the stream. Damn it. Just when things are starting to turn good, I see some other news like that. So I think I got maybe 1 or 2 orders still with them. Never ends. Never friggin' ends. I'm gonna have to go into my order section. So I was ordering stuff like, you know, Adam Hughes covers for my wall. Stuff like that. And I think I have 2 orders with them. Son of a bitch. Yeah, that's what it says on the post he just sent me. He says that, I don't know. Damn it. I really wanted to get those. I think it's with Frankie's Comics. If it's not with them, it's with another company. But if they file for bankruptcy and I'm not getting it, I guess I got to call my credit card company. I hope I did it with the credit card. Probably not. It's probably under PayPal. Guess we're starting off the year right. Unless I already got the orders in from them. I'm going to have to find out. I mean, honestly, I don't know how. I guess it was all those variant covers they were doing. Spend so much money trying to sell them off, but people got wise and stopped ordering them day one anymore. So I guess they got stuck with the bag there for a bit. There's only so many Spider-Man homage covers you can do before people are like, yeah, I'm not buying the 100th one. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but these sites can take a comic book and get a special cover for it for like 3,000 copies, and then they can sell them off at a certain price. But what happened was I noticed all the emails I was getting, they kept doing homage covers to Spider-Man 300. So every Spider-Man cover was a homage to 300. Literally, there is like thousands of these covers with different Spider-Man on them in different covers and books. It got ridiculous. I almost had to stop deleting. I had to, you know, unsubscribe from the sites because the emails were getting so bad. Well, yeah, the modern comic books are dead anyway. What it is I just like the artwork and the covers. So I was buying like Warren Lau covers, Adam Hughes covers, just for my wall. I just like to display the stuff and like change them up every few months. But they did get expensive, and they also got a little out of hand there for a while. So kind of had to stop doing it. But the Spider-Man stuff got crazy there for a while. And then that whole acetate gate thing with the acetate cover. If you guys don't know about that, that was absolutely freaking hilarious. Alright, I think her body is coming along pretty well now. I think we're starting to get the shape. Come on. This thing. this thing breaks on me. I don't know if this company is in... Sorry, static shocks are going crazy. Probably should take off my sweater. Alright, so shoulders look a little bit better. Once I sand them down a little bit, it should come look a little bit better. This way I could do the collar later. And I can start working out the lines. Hey Mitchin, how you doing? Yes, it is live. I do pretty much everything. I customize, I paint, I repair. Right now we're taking a Harley Quinn and turning it into a Ghost in the Shell figure. A what if type of thing. Alright, so as long as I don't screw up these sides, I'm gonna add some wrinkles to the arms. So let's see if we can pull this off. We'll start on this side. Put another 3 zeros behind that, and then we'll talk about it. So make sure I don't grab this side by accident. It seems like it fits the artwork. Let me look at some of the other stuff. If I can find all the pictures. There they are. Yeah, a lot of them have like those shoulder pads to it. Some of them actually have something on the shoulder too. Some of them don't. Maybe we can add one thing to her shoulder. Nothing too crazy later on. Like a patch or something. Yeah, once we get a lot of the elements on her, we can start thinking about stuff like that, like, you know, little snaps here type thing, maybe a little something here. We got to put the thing around here. You know, I don't know if maybe we should do something on the shoulder or just a patch over here. Kind of play it by ear once we kind of get a lot of the harder stuff out of the way. Because I was thinking maybe if there is a symbol to do here, I could look on that CG Trader site. Maybe they got some kind of Batman symbol or some kind of maybe Joker face or something. And then maybe what I could do is just print it out small, Dremel hole, and like just put it in there, type thing. Yeah, the only one I see on the shoulders looks like she's kind of like a higher ranked chick, and she's got like patches up there. But yeah, we'll work on that. I'm just kind of like shooting out some ideas now. In your travels, if you see anything, Raz, like on sites that like a Joker patch or a Joker or a Batman shield or something, let me know if you see anything. I haven't had a chance to look for any like print stuff on this yet, but or if anyone else comes across anything, like hit me up on Instagram. And even if it's just like a Joker face, but that looks like it would go on a shield type thing, could always kind of print it out and sort of fudge it to make it look like a shield. You know, like a police shield type thing. Well, yeah, I mean, any of you guys, you see anything, whatever, and as long as it's not like, you know, a $50 file, if it's like a $5 file or free or something, let me know. These 3D print stuff and files do add up, so I gotta be very careful with this stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of free stuff out there, but there's also some files that, you know, like are $5, $6 or something at that CG Trader site, which I don't mind picking up, but if you're buying a $5 file here, a $5 file there, and you gotta buy like 10 of them, 20 of them for a project, it adds up on you. Plus, the printing and the resin and stuff gets a little crazy, so I gotta be careful with some of these customs. I think people forget sometimes these items are like $300, $400 items if I get lucky and I get them cheaper. But I'm trying. Alright, I think at least our upper jacket's looking pretty good. Alright, while this eaves is starting to stiffen up on me, I want to add it to our sash that we're doing for Psylocke. So let me roll this out real quick. I don't like to do any type of stickers or any kind of that stuff on my items, only because while it may look good for a while, that stuff can go to hell over time. I try to keep everything, you know, painted and sculpted if I can. I know some people do stickers and stuff like that, but I don't know, personally I like to keep everything just sculpted and stuff. Send it to me, Raz. You got my email. Alright, so last week when we were talking about the Psylocke, okay, so as you can see, that clicks on with the magnet no problem now. So now we got to start working on this part. So what I usually do is take Eve's magic scope, whatever you got. Alright, we're going to put Harley aside because I think we're good for now. I think that's a nice good, her whole base is looking good. So now, once I clean this up, we'll work on the collar, start trying to plan out the head a little bit. Hopefully by next week I can have this dremeled out and maybe we can start working on the lines and start thinking about these little elements, and then hopefully I can start trying to plan the hands with the baton. So we'll try to bring in some other elements next week. But I like the outfit though. It's coming along pretty well. Kind of looking closer to this image more. So all right, on the Psylocke. Hey, Roy Fred, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Harley's coming along pretty well. I'm happy with it. Now let's work on Psylocke. Alright. So as I said last time, you know, we have the belt here. So let me mark this real quick. One thing I like to do before I take off the magnet, mark your magnet, because sometimes if you twist it, it'll go on, but you're not actually touching metal if it goes on the wrong way. So always make sure it goes on the way you set it up. But, so let's not snap this off, and let's not snap her other hand. Gonna work on this in a second. So her belt buckle, gotta follow the hair a bit. So you know, I'm thinking kind of flowing up this way. Maybe we can bend it a little bit more. Let's grab a tool. So we're going to have two of them. You know, we're going to have to bend another rod. Not this rod, but another one. So it could go sort of here. And then we can have another piece kind of coming up around here. Or maybe like another piece coming around. So we can kind of keep it like this. Like that. And then we can have another piece coming out that way. So for the basic shape now, I think we're good. So let's turn this down. Grab this piece. Alright. So this is the armature for her. Like I said, I still got to kind of notch in here a bit, so I could kind of lock this into place, because if this glue comes loose, this will, so it's just got to kind of like notch it. We'll do that later. So I try not to be super pretty about this. Just take some, whatever you got, Magic Sculpt Dave's, put it around your piece, like so. I did take the safety solvent. So what'll happen is you go around your sash like this and come back down around and sort of get your basic shape. I'll build on to this. This is just kind of, so what we can do next, So like I said, the reason why I'm doing it this way is when this item is in there, this rod's going to hold this up better, and then if you pull this out, if you grab it the wrong way, you can break your piece. At least there's something in this now that's not going to break. Now we don't want to put all our A's around here. We want to be careful. Alright, so I don't have... Just kind of put this down. Cut around this. Squeezing this in a little bit. Hey, what's up, the customizer? How's it going? Alright, so it's still kind of soft, so it's going to kind of flop. What'll happen is, hopefully by next week, what I'll do is I'll have this sanded down a bit, and maybe I'll have other extra A's, because I want to build up top here, so I'll kind of do this now. I'm going to, before the end of the night, before I kind of close up, and while I'm working on other stuff, I'll keep checking this, to kind of bend the A's where I need it to be. So we'll kind of throw a little bit up here. What we'll do is, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab my piece. This way, I don't have to worry about it falling over. So let's kind of hold it like this. Okay. So it's gonna sag and it's gonna come down, but what I'll do is I'll kind of come back around every so often and kind of shape it again where I need it to go. Because if I have it this way, it'll fall. If I have it the other way, it'll fall. But once it starts toughening up, you could kind of start like playing with it. So it's just kind of a matter of just kind of messing with it. And then what I'll do is I'll sand it down. I'll throw extra A's up here. I'll throw extra A's over there. Sand it down and get a nice kind of like flow. And then that rod will make sure that this doesn't ever like snap on me. So you see how I kind of just start playing with it and you go like that. As it toughens, you get like a nice little curve. You can do it over here as well. But it'll just keep sagging. So it's just something like the... So if you ever want to do something like this, and don't do it like if you only got 20 minutes. Do it if you got like 3-4 hours to work on something that night. Mix up some A's right away and let it harden. Because if it's hardened, you can do this a little bit easier. But since this is kind of still a little fresh, but you get the idea of what we're going to try to do. And then if you're good enough to have it on the angle you want it to warp, you can lay it down somewhere. But we want to kind of get a nice little curve going. So I'll keep messing with that. On to Psylocke, wrong button. Alright. So I want to do a little bit with the hair. I did sand down her arm. So I did clean this up a bit. I'm gonna go wash my hands too real quick in some of these brushes. They're starting to get kicked up. Hey, customizer. Yeah, prices have gone up like an insane amount, so I wouldn't be surprised that stuff like that costs that much. I just packed up a box of stuff I sold on eBay from New Jersey to California, which is all the way on the East Coast to all the way to the West Coast. Just a box of, you know, not many comics was like 40 bucks. And that's a priority through the post office. Also, the other thing too is, did they insure it for a lot? Yeah, I figured they're gonna raise prices again soon. It's getting insane. So I think the box I'm shipping is 2 pounds. No, I'm sorry. It's almost 5 pounds. It's about like a 17 by 3 by 15 box, and from New Jersey to California, plus insurance, is about $40. So that's a box filled with like maybe 2 graded comic books and a few ungraded. I gotta ship another item out from New Jersey to PA. It's a huge box, but it still might be like 80 bucks. So shipping is getting insane, especially going overseas. Yep, damn shocks. It's the thing that sucks about winter. Honestly, the way things are going, if you're into like comic books, toys, DVD, stuff like that, I think they're gonna have to start bringing like shows back at hotels. Because honestly, you'll save way more money if you could spend $5 to $20 to go into a show and find everything you want. So shows might start coming back because you can only spend so much on. Pretty soon you'll be spending more money on shipping than the actual item. It's kind of where we're headed. Alright, so I want to work on a little bit of her hair over here, and then I want to do the belt. So I think maybe we could do the hair first and then the belt. So anyone that may be coming later to the stream that rewatches it, so I like to, like, my go-to now is just mixing up a little Fix-It with regular Aves. For some odd reason, I get a nice good mixture with the two. I noticed if I use just Fix-It normally, it starts to break up on me. And if I use Aves normally, it's really, really smooth. But if I mix a little bit together, it kind of gives me a nice mixture. Side note, I noticed a comment. I think it was Sean that posted it in one of my comments. Did the IRS take the $600 rule and give us a year or something? I didn't read the whole article, but I guess they're giving everybody a lean year because no one's really ready for it. Did anyone else read up on that? What do you mean it's retroactive? They're not giving you a year from this point. They're allowing the previous year to be $600. So you're saying in 2021 I have to do it? Or... because I've been selling a lot of stuff on eBay this year, so that means... I'm confused. The customizer, if he sold it on eBay, he might have done it through the global shipping program, which means that he pays a certain amount of money for it to go to Kentucky, and then Kentucky sends it out to you. So you must be paying that extra money from him to Kentucky, and then Kentucky out to you. So check if it was the seller program. Yeah, Jacob, so basically everything I sold this year, I have to do that 2022, that $600 rule. But the $600 rule applies to Patreon, it applies to YouTube ad revenue, it also applies to Venmo, Marketplace, Facebook, it applies to everything. So... but the problem is, a lot of the stuff I sold wasn't a profit, you know? I mean, anything for the business is different. But all my personal stuff, a lot of the personal stuff, I kind of lost money because I paid good money for it a long time ago. Some stuff, I don't know. I gotta go through it. Yeah, that's what I figured. Everything in 2022 is what they said. So... Yeah, I'm pretty much ready for it. And the good thing is I sold so much stuff during the lockdowns, that I am glad I did. But you know, that's what it is they saw that everybody was selling like crazy on the lockdowns, and they're like, oh, we want our money now. So I actually made out pretty well. I got rid of a lot of stuff before all this kind of hit the fan, so. Well, people are going to have to start going back to cash and local stuff. Start doing some local shows. Yeah, they, like I said, they gave everybody free money on the lockdowns, and now they want it back. There was no way in hell they were not going to give away all that money and not want it back. So honestly, it's going to be less stress and easier just to take your items and sell it like locally. Go to a show. Offer Up is a great place to sell your stuff. You could just sell that stuff online, meet somebody somewhere, get some cash, and boom. It may be a little bit less money, but if you think about it, between taxes and everything else, it all comes out to about the same anyway. Yeah, that's why they raising everything. They want their money. Like I said, it's kind of weird how it worked out, but I'm glad I sold so much stuff during the lockdowns. Just seeing the prices people were paying for stuff, I was like, holy hell. So I took full advantage of it. Kind of sucks though. I mean, no, it wasn't like it was hurting anybody, making a couple extra bucks through eBay every year, you know? But now, the man wants his money back. Yeah, they did that. That kind of went to hell too. Everything's going to hell, dude. It really is. Like I said, hopefully, good old-fashioned shows and local stuff starts coming back, and people start paying cash again. Because cash is king, but they want to get rid of cash as well anyway. Heading toward a society where they can turn you off with a switch. Watch, I get kicked off YouTube for saying that. I don't know, I'm kind of glad I got out of the hobby before all this happened. Well, when I say got out, I mean all the stuff that was collecting dust that I collected over the years. I'm glad I got to that phase where I just wanted to start getting rid of all this stuff. Figure if it's not out and I'm not looking at it every day enjoying it, there's no sense in it being boxes anymore. So I guess it was a good time to purge everything without even knowing it was a good time. I think I want to, it's kind of hard to see with this. I might want to fill a little bit down here more after it cures. But I kind of like that now. Just gotta make sure it comes in and out. And I might want to fill this part over here too more. So, I'm gonna have to do some cleaning. Yeah, definitely want to fill this a little bit more here. Well, for Donna Troy, I was trying something different. I didn't, I was going to follow the artwork of her that I've been looking at, but it's just a fast custom. I'm not, like I said, the Donna Troy's not a full-blown, endless hours custom. I want to see if I, just wanted to see if I could pull something off fast. I got some other items that I got to put way more time into, so if I ever get another item to do another Donna Troy, I got a better idea. But it's just something I want to mess with. But I don't know if I'll ever really do another Donna Troy unless someone asks me to. I just thought it would be good with the Wonder Woman sculpt. Put some baby powder on this. Let's see when you pop this out. See how to hit some of this back here. Yeah, Donna Troy is kind of a experimental, fast, custom type thing. That's why it's just going to be thrown up on eBay. Just gonna put it straight to eBay at like, you know, $5.99 and let it ride, just to see what happens. Yeah, I could have done it messier. I know what you're saying, but also Poison Ivy's hair, she doesn't have a head. So whenever I work on an item, if I have the head and I have the ears, I can do what it should look like. If I have an item that has hair or something sculpted over certain areas of the face and the ears, I can't go too far with it because it's hiding so much of the face that it's hard to get it to look right. with the resin. So it's always kind of hard, it's kind of difficult in that sense. So that's why I wanted to try the hair to keep it like Ivy. But this has come along pretty well. So we're gonna pop the head off and let it sit for a bit. But what I want to do real quick is just double check. I always want to double check putting this on. I gotta clean up her face. Yeah, so it's kind of, I'll try to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up more back here later. Just kind of get that basic shape in there so it goes in and out. I think it just needs a little bit more thickness over here coming around. And it should work pretty well. Just always got to double check. Make sure we're not hitting stuff and it goes in and out. So some of this I might need to sand down as well. We're not going to see it anyway, so it doesn't matter if this is messy back here or flat. Yeah, so, and a lot of this is, you're not going to see all that in there, even though it looks like crap. Not going to see it. See, you'll never see any of that underneath there. It's hidden pretty well. Gotta clean up the hair in here too. Alright, so let's work on our belt. We'll put this aside. Oh, I did send a picture to the client for Wonder Woman. So we got to start. So this is the black canary hair from Sideshow. So this is a good start for her, because sometimes I like to use these extra pieces to sort of build onto them and not burn a lot of eaves. So it's kind of a good flow for her. I did work out her piece up here. So basically this will give me just a good start to kind of do my own little take in the front and kind of blend it together and stuff like that. So this is coming along pretty cool. How am I going to paint the hair? Purple like this. Are you talking about for Psylocke or for who are we talking about? For the hair. Psylocke, alright, so patrons voted for classic colors. So I already got the basic idea for the how I'm gonna paint up her outfit. For the hair, probably what I'm gonna do is a flat black, and then I'm gonna highlight purple into it. So she'll have like a purplish highlighted hair, but nothing heavy. I don't like to do heavy highlights, you know. I've seen some people go like crazy heavy with the highlights. I want to try to keep it a darker purple. Sort of what I've done on a couple in the past. You might not be able to see like in my videos, but in person the purple's there. I just hate heavy highlight color, like, you know, like Wonder Woman hair. Like in the comics, she has her purple highlights. Like, I think it was like the Kerry Dotson cover. Yeah, so you see here, she's got like blue and whitish. So I try to do like a bluish, like interference on like Wonder Woman hair to make it silky black. So with Psylocke, it'll be sort of like similar. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm cheating. That's if you want to say that. But the way I do it works. Sometimes I sculpt from scratch. Sometimes I use items to kind of help out. You know, what the hell. Sometimes I'll actually, I will cheat and I will use hair like that to save on space and still sculpt all over it or chop it up. Only because sometimes you don't need to do everything completely from scratch when you can use a chunk of resin. Yeah, I know you were joking, but I'm just saying it's sometimes it's good to just have an extra set around, you know. Although I find hair very soothing, so sometimes if I'm working on a project, I'll just kind of have a good lunch and then sit there for like hours just sculpting hair for somebody until I'm like at a point where I got to do it another day. Yeah, I do that once in a while too. You can use a pin or a brass rod and sort of kind of create a thing to work off of. I think I did that with the Jean Grey hair I did a few months back or in the beginning of the year. I think I did. I forget. Yeah, Rukin, I've had professors like that in art school too. I had professors who would talk about how to make a living with your art, and then I had other professors that were all about the feeling stuff. But they were the fine art professors. So they were just teachers, they weren't actually freelancers. The guys who made a living were the ones who talked about, you know, cost of materials, your time, knowing when a project is done. Because you can work on a project forever. So you gotta know when to say, okay, this is as far as it's gonna go, it's done. Yeah, I've done stuff like that. I don't... See, the problem is, I know what you're looking for, Jacob, but sometimes it's also breakage. And that's also what I'm worried about sometimes when I do hair. You can make all the wisps you want, but if the sucker breaks on you, or breaks on the client, it just becomes more of a mess. So I try to stylize it in a way where there's not a lot of breakage. But it can be done, though. If you look at the Jean Grey I did, you know, for the Sideshow Jean Grey, the custom head I did sculpt the wisp off of that one, I think. If I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. The only reason why I say because I got to do another one for my friend. So she's sitting on my shelf next to me. So I think I got to do the same thing on that one. The zippers? Are you the ones that I put on stuff before? Well, Jacob, what I could do is, I've done it in the past, like, for example, you know, say, you know, this hair little wisp here. You can put it onto the item and you can sculpt it, and it can hang off. And there's no problem with doing that. But it's just that, like I say, sometimes you got to worry about breakage. That's all. And then if you want the wisp to cover the face, that's another problem, because if it covers the face, it's hard to paint the face with the wisp there. But it can be designed in a way where you paint the face and then you glue the wisp on at the end and then you touch up the hair. That's a possibility too. So I know what you're saying. It can be done, and it's not that hard. It's just that I don't always do it. Yeah, I just wish I could find longer zippers, smaller, that are in scale with these items. That's the only problem I run into. Like, I found smaller zippers. You know, like I have the long ones, which are, you know, these zippers for stuff, which work well. But I found smaller zippers, but the problem is I've only found them in this length. So, you know, like if you were going to do like a zipper here, these are perfect. But I can never find longer ones. That's my only problem. But I've been making it work. No, that's fine. Brainstorming's not a problem. I just like to be honest with people, that's all. I kind of, early on, I was trying to do the really, you know, crazy stuff. And then I would send it out to a person and it would break. And then I would do it again, it would break, you know. So it's kind of what I tell people. You know, a lot of people want Sideshow and these companies to, like, have specific looks. But they understand that breakage is always a possibility, so they have to simplify it. I've always had to kind of remind to my friends that all the time. You can make the most amazing item, you know, and it could be completely comic book or artist accurate, but at the same time, if you engineer it correctly, the item would be expensive as all hell. And a lot of people seem to forget about that as a hobby. and I'm not just saying it to you, I'm saying it to everybody. Um, you know, there's a lot of engineering goes into these things, and then you run into a lot of issues, breakages, and stuff. So I think over the years, companies like Sideshow sort of been learning their lesson. So they're kind of figuring out now that certain things they just can't do anymore. But if you look at all those fan art items from Facebook, a lot of that stuff is elaborate and it's crazy and it's amazing. But the amount of people that ask me to repair those items is unreal. You know, there's always a cape broken, or there's always a tendril from a venom that's broken, or the item won't be supported correctly and it's leaning. And I usually tell people on some of them, I go, there's nothing I can do for you. Short of like rebuilding the whole thing, but you just spent all that money to get it, you know? But I mean, a lot of that stuff, so, you know, a lot of that stuff on Facebook is nice, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful sculpted, but a lot of people don't realize that that stuff is going to break on them because the companies are not going to rod it where they need it to be rodded. And when I say rods, you know, like a rod going all the way up the leg type thing, or a rod that's coming out the hair piece, or a rod that's coming out the tendril, and you spend all that money and then your thing is just broken and there's nothing you can do to fix it. I mean, you can fix it, but, you know, are you going to send the whole item to me to repair that little piece type thing? Yeah, that, you know, and that's the other problem is sometimes I think I pack this stuff well, but you get somebody who will drop kick it across the country, you know? So there's nothing I can do about that except try to repair it. And sometimes I mess up and I don't pack it right too, so... But I try to really go crazy with everything now. That's the other thing too is since this is a business, I try not to get upset if stuff breaks. I just try to work with everybody to say, okay, well send it back to me and we'll get it repaired. Can't sit there and be like, oh, it's not my fault, I'm not repairing it, blah blah blah. I'll fix it. It's just bear with me and we'll get it done, you know, type thing. It's a good thing I'm not doing those bubble gums anymore because that clear resin stuff, holy crap. That crap is a nightmare. I don't think you understand on how many bubble gums I had to cast up just to get a good one. Because, you know, you're only working with that big of a thing. It's a nightmare. Now one thing here is because this is arched here, I want to make sure I can get a paintbrush over this area when I'm ready to paint it. So I always try to make sure I don't screw myself where I can't get into an area for paint. Even though it might look pretty cool to do it the other way, it sucks that you can't get a paintbrush in here. The side blades are clear resin, so I'm gonna try to keep them pink. Like her side blades are kind of like magenta, right? Kind of like a magenta pink. One of them is already semi-pink, the sword, so I gotta try to keep them pinkish. So either they're like translucent. So what I'll do is I'll punch this one up till I get it to about this pink, and then what I'll do is I'll paint them both together to kind of even them out and make sure they both look the same. Yeah, I don't understand why they did this sword pinkish tint, but they didn't do it with this one. But I'm gonna try to keep them translucent. Alright, so belt looks better. It's kind of how I like to do my belts on characters. So this way now I can get this, once this other piece is set up, you know, like once this piece is a little bit better, it's starting to harden up. It's not going to be that thick, of course. I'm going to chop it down, you know, but so we'll have a nice sash going there. So more or less, she's pretty much almost there. Almost, not quite. Still got to finish up the hair, finish up the belt. And then once all that's done, we'll have a paint series. I'll work on a paint series. See if I can get a better camera coloring on it too for when I work on this one. And then I'll do it for a paint series on her. Yeah, they'll be semi-transparent. They're not the best clear resin though. I mean, they're gonna look transparent, so if you were to put them like, you know, if you put them, without blinding the people in the camera, you know, so you can see how it's semi-transparent, you know, so it's gonna stay semi-transparent, but it's not gonna be this pink hue. It's gonna be a little bit darker, but you'll still get some kind of light coming through it. But the thing is, I gotta even this one to this one in color, and then I gotta darken them up a little bit more. So I'll try to keep the edges around the handles darker, and then over here keep these lighter. So. Where's her hand? Well, when I did that bishop, he was shattered. That was a complete rebuild. So because I had to rebuild him, there was no way in hell I was able to keep all that stuff the way it was. You know, when you, if one part is broken that's clear but the other one's not, you can't really repair the clear one and keep it clear. You got to kind of do both of them. But yeah, she's looking, she's getting there. We are getting there. Let's see, does this go this way? Like I said, I'm going to attach this to her hand permanently. I'm not keeping it magnetized. Doesn't really like to stay. No, I just think whoever casted these up, they casted them different. They must have casted them separately. Somebody must have been casting up. There's a little bit of pink in here, like a very tiny, tiny pink. But there's more pink in here. So we'll work on it when I get the video going, you know. So I gotta clean up her face. I want to punch up the hair back here. We're gonna have to finish up the sash. Then I gotta pull out all the elements, get them all set up on the base. And then whenever it's all pretty much ready to go, I'll start the paint series. If I had a choice, I would rather these be crystal clear, like crystal clear. And then I would paint them up my way, which would be semi-translucent. You would see it, but it wouldn't be like solid. That's what I would love to do on it, but sadly, that's just the way it is. I mean, if they were solid casted resin and they weren't translucent, I would paint them with interference colors to make them look glowing. But since we got some clear on there, I'll make it work. Like this hand here, I got to debate if I'm going to make this permanent or if I'm going to leave it with a magnet. Because that's a good design. The way they designed this hand was good. I'll give them credit for this one. The sword isn't bad either by, you know, making it magnetized. But the hand, they did a good job. I like the idea that this comes off and then this just goes on with a magnet. So And it's fairly locks it in fairly good, so I might leave it like that, only for painting reasons. Alright, so for those who don't know, you can cast up a whole model in clear resin. Like, Smooth On makes crystal clear resin, which is so clear that it doesn't cloud like this resin. The cheaper clear resin will be a yellow tint or clear, but over time it will start to yellow on you. Now the crystal clear from Smooth On doesn't yellow from what I understand, but the stuff is so dangerous that you have to use a respirator and you need to use like long sleeves and gloves because you can get a rash. Now, when I was doing those bubble gums for Harley, I had a respirator on, but I was doing it in the summer and I didn't wear long sleeves. So after working in the garage for like a day trying to get those bubble gums working, I had a rash going down my arm here and all the way down here. It wasn't a bad rash, but it looked like acne, like kind of broke out in my skin. So I went to the doctor and she gave me cream. So anytime I use that clear resin stuff, I wear, even if it's in the summer now, I'll put on long sleeves and I'll sweat my ass off, but it's better than getting a rash. And the other thing too is the crystal clear takes a long time to cure because you can't use the faster stuff because you won't get all the bubbles out. So if you want to get all the bubbles out, you gotta kind of really use the slower stuff, and that takes 24 hours to cure. So if you want to make one of these in a mold, it'll take 24 hours for it to cure to pop it out. And even after 24 hours when you pop it out, it's semi-tacky, but once it starts to curing, it's really crystal clear. It's the best stuff on the market I've seen, but it's very, very dangerous. So I don't like to mess with crystal clear castings at all. I just don't like to do it anymore. So that's why I'm not doing like those bubble gums anymore for people. Its stuff is just way too potent. And even the cheaper stuff that you get at Michael's or online that has the yellowing to it, even that stuff is kind of like iffy to use. I talked to one guy at Jersey Fest. He says that if he uses the crystal clear stuff, he's so allergic to it, his throat closes up. So he doesn't use the crystal clear either. And now, mind you, I was only doing those little bubble gums. I wasn't mixing like large items like these. So now, if you go to my YouTube videos and you check out that clear base that I did for the Storm, Savage Land Storm, that was the crystal clear stuff. So what I did is when I built out my my whole wall for the base, I was in the garage. It was like 95-degree weather or 90-degree weather. I had long sleeves on, rubber gloves, the mask on. I even had a hat just so I didn't get anything up on like my forehead. And I did that crystal clear stuff. And then once I was pretty much done and I got it mixed up and I did everything I had to, I came in the house and I was just pouring with sweat. And I took a shower right away just to scrub my arms just in case I had any of that like residue or fumes on myself. And I let it sit in the garage and I had a fan blowing out. So yeah, that stuff is not very friendly. So a lot of this stuff that you see from companies that have this crystal clear or any of this translucent stuff might be, you know, guys who are doing that stuff in the factory are probably in like hazmat suits. Hopefully. Now that's my experience with the crystal clear stuff. But like I said though, you can cast, like say this is Iceman, right? And you want to cast in that crystal clear stuff, you can. But one of the things about any clear resin or translucent resin is it is not a great support. Meaning that this is polystone, so even if there's no rod in her leg, she's still going to stay strong and upright for a long time. If you use a cheaper resin, she'll bend over. But if you were to cast her up in clear resin, this stuff will warp on you way faster. Just like a PVC statue. This stuff is not meant for like support unless there's a rod in the leg. But the problem is you'll see the rod. But say like, all right, Invisible Woman. Instead of her being invisible at the lower half and she starts being invisible at the upper half, you can put a rod in there and paint it over so you won't see that rod. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like clear resin issues. Crystal clear or clear resin is just like regular resin, but it's not as durable, I guess. And don't forget, a lot of these items are polystone, which means that when you mix A and B of resin together, you're also mixing in a stone powder, so it makes the item feel like a heavy statue. But most of the time, this stuff is just resin. It's just resin mixed with stone powder. The crystal clear stuff is resin, but it's not a strong resin, if that makes sense. As far as like the Japanese pool stuff, that's probably similar to what I gotta, I haven't used this stuff yet and I still gotta use it. This is that resin water from AK Interactive. So this stuff is what I want to use for that anime girl. I gotta start painting her up. Hopefully this stuff hasn't gone bad on me. So you can use this stuff for like pools of water and everything, but I don't think you can use this inside a mold. Like, say you want to make a mold of this and you want to use this stuff in there. I don't know if that would work. If that makes any sense. Now, I guess the last thing is, so when they say PVC, or like Japanese toys, the plastic stuff. So you see this thing here? This isn't resin. This is actually plastic. It's just clear plastic. So resin and plastic are two different things. Like plastic is like melted plastic that's injected and then it cools. Whereas resin is a chemical reaction where A and B is mixed together. So a lot of this stuff you see on toys and PVC statues, this is like injected melted plastic. So two different things. Well, not really different, but it's all plastic, I guess. Alright, so I got this resin left. I want to use it on this Wonder Woman. Just to secure it a little more. Yeah, if you guys really want to do some research, you could go onto the Smooth On website, and you can read about polyurethane plastics and regular plastics. Give you a better idea of what's what. Yeah, the clear stuff is fine for, like, the weapons, bubblegum, fire, flames, powers, all kinds of stuff like that. You can do it with Iceman, but somebody like Iceman, you might want to do more of a PVC plastic. Clear resin probably would run into issues. It all depends. Yeah, you can tint clear resin. Smooth On makes a dye that you can mix with it. The reason why I didn't do that with the bubblegum stuff is because I was a little bit unexperienced on adding a color to it. So I was just painting them when they were done. But they do make a dye you can put in there. Now, if you go to my channel and you look up the Gambit head bases that I designed, that was the crystal clear resin mixed with their dye. That was kind of like a good experiment in practice. But I will never do bases like those again. For one, I was nuts to sit there with the clear resin and make them, and two, people bitched at me because they didn't like the design. But I was trying to do something fun. Because the color I put in there was UV dye, which I think glows, not glows in the dark, but with UV lights it'll glow. I don't know, sometimes I try different things, they go well, and sometimes they don't. It will yellow over time if you use the shitty resin and you start getting like an aqua green. But if you use the smooth on stuff, they like say that their stuff does never yellows. So I guess it depends on what brand you use. Now, somebody told me a while back, all clear resin yellows. It doesn't matter what brand you use, but Smooth On claims that theirs doesn't. So, I don't really know. I don't think I have any clear resins from Smooth On that are sitting. Well, maybe I have some bubble gums that I've done years ago, still laying around. That's a possibility. Oh, you made the necklace for the hold back the Nine Tails? That one you're talking about? The gem? Yeah, I'm a huge Naruto fan, so that probably looked pretty damn cool. Well, I painted it, so it's not going to yellow, you know. It shouldn't yellow, especially with purple over it. But it is their clear resin, so. Okay, that should lock in the hair a little bit better for when I start working on it. Just kind of throw a little piece over here. I just put some A's and glue on this the other day just to show the client, since I got the okay, to lock it in better. If it's alright, so if it's a translucent item and you can see through it, if it's going to yellow, then it's going to yellow. But with the color purple on top of it, I don't think the yellow would really do anything to the purple. You know, it's not gonna yellow to this point. It's not gonna yellow to that point, but it might. When I say yellowing, it might yellow like this yellow. Like say, like see how that's kind of yellow there? That's when I talk about yellowing. That's kind of like what it would turn into. So imagine this is crystal clear, like ice cube. Like this is ice cube crystal clear. You know, like perfectly crystal clear. What happens is the cheaper stuff turns into this type of yellowing over time. Just like that. It doesn't yellow to like, you know, yellow of a label. Just yellow. When I say yellow like that, that's pretty much what yellowing is. So imagine the sword. So imagine this is crystal clear, like the sword here. So imagine like if this is cheap resin, in like 3 years or so, it starts to kind of turn to like that yellow. Sort of like that. You can't print out spheres on your printer? Is there a problem with spheres or something? So I'm thinking what I need to do with this. Come on, open up. Okay, so I'm going to let this sort of, I'm not worried about this part flattening on me a little bit. It's not a big deal if it touches the desk. It's this part I want to keep curved. So this will probably be a good way of keeping this sort of curved. So even if it's not perfect, I can always Dremel this around. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know where I put that box. Do I still have that box somewhere? Let's see. If I have the box, we can take a look at. Is this it here? That's not it. Oh, maybe I gotta put it. No, I don't know what to do with it. Oh well. All right. Well, I think that's it for tonight. I'm pretty much tapped out, but we're looking pretty good with the gals. So hopefully next week we can start fine-tuning some things. I'm going to start working on her a little bit more for my client. I'm going to try to find a day and I'll try to do a post or something about painting up what's her name, Donna Troy. Give you guys an idea with that, but I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. I just want to thank you guys for following me this year. I appreciate all the support. Hopefully we'll come up with some more projects again for next year. I got a lot of stuff to work on. Hopefully we'll get some more videos. But we'll see how things go. So I really appreciate it. So you guys have a good New Year. Don't get too drunk. If you do, just be safe about it, alright? So thanks again, guys. I appreciate it, and have a good weekend.